I feel like we need to talk briefly on this topic before we move on to the other segment of the show, and that is return of brutality from security agencies. And this is for the EFCC, where there was orders from their headquarters that the people that were, well, their officers that were indicted in the alleged assault of a woman in Lagos State, that they would face disciplinary panel. So let us talk about the return of brutality. First, we know that the the ones who really sit on that throne used to be police. But now that we are having EFCC, because if you've seen that video, it's quite sad. The way that woman was treated, it's not something that I would even wish for someone I don't necessarily like. So now let's talk about that. How do we move on from this?
So you are seeing one, but it's something that I think 2 days back in Alausa also somebody was also being tortured on the road, on the street. Police officers beating the person. In Benue just 2 years back, NBA chairman was also being beaten by EFCC. So it's just like I said, this is not a new thing. It has been happening over and over again. When there's no accountability in the system, everybody feels I can do it. And the sad thing is they tell you in the face that I will beat you and nothing will happen. And Nigeria have shown that actually they lack accountability. Despite the structures, the so-called structures we tend to have, people are not being brought to account. Out of 100 cases, you may hear only one something being done about it. You keep hearing that the CP or the Ds have directed that the persons have to be arrested and something will be done about it. And that will be the end. The public will be expecting that at the end of the day, bring out that, okay, we have dismissed this person. After dismissal, this person has been taken to court for maybe violating the rights of these persons and will be punished according to Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act or the Anti-Torture Act. Last month, 28th, I think 26th, we selected a day in support of victims of torture. But this is what we have. What are we doing to support these victims? One, you torture them, you detain them incommunicado, and they stay there until God knows when. They can be there for a year plus and thereabout. And
or some even lost their lives.
Yes, some will die in detention centers. At the end of the day, they will still pay bail money and you free them for doing nothing. So as long as the criminal justice sector is not functioning, and as long as the court is now the lost hope of the common man, that people can actually pay for services to favor them, then there's an issue. So for me, I'll keep saying that there is need for accountability. From the governors, there should be accountability. Before, as you enter office, before you leave, they have to audit and then be held to account, where you actually being held to account for the funds that came through you and what it's being used for. If it's used for personal gain, you'll be in prison until you pay. And some of these sentences can be for life and all that. It will help to ensure, and when you make laws and you don't even respect those laws, then everybody knows that I can do whatever and move on with it. And that has been the case. And when you keep talking about these issues happen, in developed climes, you don't go and tell the military that you need equipment to work. They have given you budgetary allocation. They don't, military budget is only budget that once they send it, nothing is being touched on it. So that means they actually send what they want. As an agency of the government, you are supposed to know your needs. If you know you need equipment that checks or monitors the movement of people wherever, whether a term it on manned spaces. Nigeria was not formed yesterday. Before now, have they not been on manned areas before? Why haven't they been people infiltrating these areas? We had fewer personnel then. We have more now. And if we have local private security agencies all around, what is stopping the government-recognized agencies from working with them? We have about 3,000 registered non-private security agencies in the country. Why don't you work with them? Before all these numerous private security agencies, committees on their own were securing themselves. Why don't you now mandate that every House of Rep member, all the local government chairman, go back to your communities and ensure nothing like this happen in your community. Work with your youth and ensure nothing happens. And the military, the police should work with you. Where they want to sabotage anything, you can hold them to account at that level. Because based on how it's going, there have always been reports that it's possibility that sometimes the military and the police are actually part of these crimes as well. If we check, I checked on Twitter yesterday, 2 days back, I think in Abia, which of the states, police was part, a police officer was part of those planning to kidnap somebody. You go online, you see this report over and over again, and then you are talking we shouldn't blame them. These persons were being paid from taxes collected from all of us, and what is your responsibility? Protect us. You are there to serve us. That is your primary responsibility. So if you are going there and then you are failing to do that, instead of victimizing me after tax, using my money to pay you, then we shouldn't complain. Then what is your use?
Definitely, that is a question that one need to ask ourselves and probably the Nigerian police force. But